Yes, I see all those future employees of Hertford County Public Schools.
We got some future teachers. Let's see if the county can afford.
The evidence.
The education classes have grown.
Oh, sure. We sure can. Is that on? It feels pretty good now. Did you get it, boy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll tell them to say you got it. Take it.
Yes. Make sure you put your mic down when this starts. Oh, Mr. Lutz right there. So.
It was Jane,
You have to pull your mic down.
when she was superintendent. I was at middle school. You were at Riverview. Cooper was at high school. Brazil was at Aria Van. Agnes must have been out of house elementary, house grade. Go through it. Surely, see if I can turn it around, make it bigger. We were about justice here.
Good evening, everyone. The October 24th, 22 regular board meeting for Hertford County Public Schools is now in session. May we have the pledge to the flag, please, at this time. Let us stand together. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I have a motion at this time to accept the agenda with the addition of 5.2, the Union Civic Club resolution?
Madam Chair, make a motion we approve the agenda with the amended 5.2 to include the Union Civic Club property.
May I have a second, please?
Second motion.
All in favor, state aye. All opposed? Motion has passed to accept the agenda with the addition of 5.2. May I have a motion to approve the minutes from August 29th, 2022 regular meeting and September 26th, 2022 regular meeting?
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we accept the minutes from the August 29th, 2022. A regular meeting and the September 26th, 2022 regular meeting.
May I have a second, please?
Second motion.
All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The minutes for August 29th regular meeting and September 26th, 2022 has been approved. Thank you. At this time, we have the pleasure to have Dr. Tinkham with us again with her students from Chowan University. Dr. Tinkham, we always look forward to seeing you and seeing who you are bringing our way, hopefully. So thank you for coming, and it's a joy to have you and your students. Welcome to Hertford County Public School Board of Ed meeting.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Would you like to introduce your students?
Okay.
Sure.
Board chair and board members and fellow educators, we're delighted to be here tonight. I think it's the first time in 3 years we've been
Yeah,
in person to the board. We appreciate it. We have 3 students. One, I think, got the wrong address. But anyway. It's okay, I worry about them. They don't think I do, but I do worry about them.
You know.
But we're delighted. We say we don't produce many, but the ones we produce are good. I ask the students to introduce themselves, tell their name, where they're from, and their name. Okay, Connie, what's your?
Yes. Hello, I'm Kaya. I'm from Virginia Beach, Virginia, and my major is LGBT education. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Cindy Portland, Virginia, and I'm also
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sarah Smith. I'm from Richmond, Virginia, and I'm in elementary education.
You got 3 elementaries.
The 3 elementaries.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. Dr. Tinkham, we would also like to thank you for bringing so many talented people to Hertford County and assisting our community and our district with your students from Chowan University. We hope we'll see you again. And we will remember that there are some elementary ed majors out there.
All right.
We would,
Excuse me.
you may go on.
We appreciate you all allowing us to do our field work and student teaching in Hertford County Schools. Ms. Cherry's been very kind to me and our students, and so have your principals. So we look forward to continuing that process, to actually be in the schools. And we know we went through COVID and that we don't ever want to do that again.
That's true.
But there's nothing that takes the place of direct relationships with our students and the students in the public schools.
That's
And the teachers and the principals.
Thank you. We are glad you feel that way. And we also feel the very same way. We'd love to have your teachers in the classroom. Reading a book is one thing, but face to face is totally different. So thank you. I also wanted to thank you, Dr. Tinkham, on being active and helping us with our situations in the last 3 weeks. We thank you for your support in being a partner with our school district. Thank you so much. I think you know.
Yeah.
Okay. But thank you. We couldn't have done it without you.
Nope.
Okay. We look forward to seeing you again. Thank you. We now have our bulletin board descriptions at this time with Mrs. Brunette Parker.
Good evening, Chair Porter, board members, Ms. Ward. This month's boards was done by Hertford County Middle School. Mrs. Terrell Deloach is the principal. And if you see that board, it says Hertford County Public Schools, not your average school district. New thinking, we know for new times. And you see those nachos up there? So I think it's a great slogan for our district. The one that's in here, there wasn't heading, but it kept falling. But this was done by the art teacher students. And they're called, these pictures are called the jeweled bugs. And she began her lesson by pursuing a variety of illustrations of insects. And they had to draw half of the insect first. And then once they did the first half, and then they were able to trace the other part of the bug. So if you look at that, this board here, it was created by Hertford County Middle School art students. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, but the boards are beautiful, so very creative. And we appreciate your talent every month. It's good to have something when you're walking into an office or boardroom that will lift and lighten your day. And we thank you, in middle school, for all you have done with this board for the month of October, and also the other schools that participate monthly. Thank you. Is there any public input at this time, Ms. Parker? Special recognitions, Mrs. Burnett Parker. We have some beautiful things on this table.
Yes, yes. Each October is called the National Principals Month. Principals set the academic tone for their schools. It is their vision, dedication, and determination that provide the mobilizing force for achieving student success. Each October, our district honors these instructional leaders for their tireless efforts in pursuit of excellence in education. At this time, Ms. Ward, if you will come forward. And I would like to ask first, Bearfield Primary Principal, if you will come forward. Okay, Ahoskie Elementary, Mrs. Riddick. Riverview Elementary School, Mrs. Brown. Hertford County Middle School, Mrs. Deloach. C.S. Brown High School, Mr. Maury. Early College High School, Ms. Britt. Last but not least, Hertford County High School, Ms. Watford, if you will come forward.
I think many of you can look at this group that we have standing in front of us and know the dedication, the hard work, and the efforts that are put forth to educate our students, protect our staff, and move forward as a district for curriculum and instruction, and also for our students that are preparing themselves for the future. We want to talk to you just briefly about the gift that we've selected for you tonight to give you recognition for the job that you do. You each will receive a sign that says, "Rise and shine, begin your day with gratitude." Now, as educators, we know how important studying words are, and we know that the meaning of words and being able to understand individual words and roots of words help us understand the whole language better. So let me just give you a little lesson about the word gratitude. The word gratitude comes from the Latin root gratus, meaning pleasing, welcome, agreeable. Gratis is also the root of related terms such as grace, gratuity, and gratis that all signify positive moods, actions, and ideas. So here are just 10 benefits from the gratitude that we know each of you show each and every day to our students, our parents, and our community. First of all, gratitude improves our self-esteem. It improves our energy and our health. It makes us happier and more optimistic. We are more resilient and deal with adversity better. We are generous and forgiving. We keep us in the present moment. We are happier and notice the present moment more, and it lowers our stress, anxiety, and thoughts. So I encourage each of you to put that sign somewhere where you can see it every day and know that Hertford County Public Schools is truly grateful for what you do. And it is our feeling that we have a lot of gratitude for the principals that chose to work in the Hertford County Public School family. Thank you.
Yes. You don't know.
Before you sit down, I would just like to say on behalf of the board, we are aware of all of the hard work that you do every day. Organization, sometimes you feel alone, but we want you to know you do have our support. It's not as easy as it looks, but I'm sure that all of you took the task of serving as a principal, administrator, because you love your genuine concern for our students and that you love what you do. So we would like to thank you for everything that you do on a daily basis. And we wish you the very, that is a very best. This is only a small portion, and it would never be enough to let you know how we feel about the jobs that you do every day with our students. Thank you. We'll move on now for our high student achievement. Field trip request, Dr. White.
Good evening, Chair Porter, board members, and Mrs. Ward. We have before you the field trip request form from Early College High School.
Are there any questions? May I have a motion to approve the field trip request from Early College to Charlotte at this time?
So moved, Madam Chair.
May I have a second?
Second, Madam Chair.
All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Has been passed. Field trip request for Early College High School has been granted. Hope you enjoy your trip. And you are every high school administrator. You may have some good news about your trips at a later date. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We'll move on. Thank you, Dr. White. We'll move on to our district school improvement plans, Mrs. Ward.
Chair Porter, board members, we are presenting that the school improvement plans, these have been completed in the NC STAR process. We do have a couple of schools in our district plan that final meetings are being held, but in compliance with low performing designation, these plans are to be presented within 30 days of the October 6th designation. These plans are on our website and will be available for public comment for a 30-day period, at which time then they will be represented to the board for final approval. You may find our school improvement plans on our district webpage on the home page under the quick links, NC STAR school improvement plans. When you click on that link, you can find the plans electronically as well as the comment form to be filled out and submitted to our district.
Thank you. Are there questions or concerns? Thank you, Mrs. Ward. We'll move on to 4.1, our resignations and transfers. Mrs. Cherry.
Good evening, Chair Porter, members of the board, and Ms. Ward. You have before you item 4.1, resignations, retirements, and transfers for your information.
Are there questions or concerns? Okay, thank you.
Okay, also a part of item 4.1, there's a recommendation for administration for Ronica Watford to go from Hertford County High School interim principal to Hertford County High School principal.
Thank you. And this is for information at this time. You may go on.
Item 4.2, recommendations. We have Ms. Brenda Pate being recommended for Curriculum and Instruction Director at the central office. Ms. Lucille Anthony being recommended as Assistant Principal at Riverview Elementary School. We have Joe Nathan Jones being recommended as Transportation Mechanic at the central office. Brittany Jones being recommended as a Nurse Extender at Ahoskie Elementary School. Lillian Williams being recommended as North Carolina Education Corps Tutor at Riverview Elementary School. Jamaica Deloach being recommended as Executive Secretary for Assistant Superintendent at the Central Office. Whitney Harrell being recommended as School Nurse at Ahoskie Elementary School. Mia Staten being recommended as Teacher Assistant at Hertford County Middle School. Ryan Flight being recommended as Custodian at Riverview Elementary School. And Jackie Mitchell being recommended as Teacher Assistant Reach Associate at Riverview Elementary School.
Are there questions or concerns? May I have a motion to approve the administration's request for certified and classified recommendations?
So moved, Madam Chair.
May I have a second?
Second
Second, Madam Chair.
All in-
Go ahead.
Excuse me, Mr. Hall.
Ms. Hall said second motion. Go ahead.
Do you have a question, Mr. Hall?
No, ma'am, I second that motion.
Okay, thank you. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Has been approved. Certified and classified recommendations by administration at this time. Additional employment, Mrs. Cherry.
Madam Chair, members of the board, and Ms. Ward, you have item 4.3, additional employment for your consideration.
Are there questions? Concerns? May I have a motion to approve the additional employment at this time?
So moved, Madam Chair.
May I have a second?
I second the motion.
All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion has been approved to, for additional employment that was recommended by administration. Substitutes, Mrs. Cherry.
Item 4.4 substitutes are before you for your consideration.
Are there questions or concerns
Good
about
evening.
substitutes?
Wendell Hall. Give me a call at your earliest convenience.
Mr. Hall,
Section
mute yourself, please. We can hear your conversation. Yeah, where will, may I have a motion to approve the substitutes at this time?
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the substitutes as presented by administration.
May I have a second, please?
I second the motion.
All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Substitute list has been approved as recommended by administration. We'll move on to North Carolina Works, Mrs. Cherry.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Ms. Ward, you have before you for your approval the work experience work site agreement for NC Works. This agreement will provide an internship work experience to eligible individuals participating in the Rivers East Workforce Development Board's Work Experience Program, authorized and funded under the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act.
Are there any questions concerning the North Carolina Works?
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
I recuse myself from this particular item, for I am on the Workforce Development Board of Directors.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the recommendation by administration concerning the North Carolina Works with Hertford County Board of Education?
Madam Chair, I motion that we approve the North Carolina Workforce Program.
May I have a second, please?
Madam Chair, I second that motion.
All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion has passed. We'll move on to
Thank you.
our. Thank you, Ms. Sherry. You had so much, we were rolling. But thank you. We'll move on at this time to safe, orderly, and efficient schools. Mr. Aaron Baloo, will you correct me if I'm wrong with your name? Okay, thank you. We're glad that you could be with us here tonight and you've been assisting us. So we are ready to listen. Thank you.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here, Madam Chair, members of the board. As she said, my name is Aaron Bowyer. We've had the fortune of assisting you through some of your finance transition. I'd be remiss not to thank Ms. Ward, Ms. Merritt, and then the condition that your budget was in and your budget documents that we inherited from Ms. Martin. So again, that always makes the job much easier. And I can tell you, working in multiple systems across the state, that isn't always the case. So you're very fortunate to have the current administration and the past administration have put you in such good financial standing. Tonight, I come before you to present the budget resolution. The budget resolution is required by general statute. It's a balanced budget that has to be approved by the board. The revenues have to equal the expenses. As you can see in the documentation, again, we're very fortunate to have a lot of Ms. Martin's prior documents that we translated to the current numbers. We entered the proposed budget as presented to the school board with the local funds, so on and so forth. But again, very transparent in the budget process. Tonight, we bring before you the budget as it stands. The federal budgets are only the budgets that have been approved by Department of Public Instruction at this point. So at this point, your budget resolution is coming for you at a $50,302,306. Your local current expense fund is $6,333,000. Your other local current expense funds is $2,203,000. And then within the local current expense fund, only the boards of educations can approve the use of fund balance. So within the local current expense fund, There is 1,839,000 for approval. And in the other local current expense fund, Fund 8, there's 950,000. As I've said, and what you have in here, you also have 3 years worth of historical data on your budget, not only the current year, but 2 prior years. We've been very fortunate that, again, the documents are in such good shape, but anyone really having transparency, it's value to look back at more than 1 year, to look at the trends, look at the spending histories. I can first and foremost tell you there's not been much normal as we've gone through COVID. Things have had actually more revenue in the picture. Expenditures haven't always looked and felt like they have, but it's just important that we're all on the same page so you can make the best decisions for the children and the staff of Hertford County Schools. So again, you have that spending trend and that historical look. Another thing that's very important in the way this budget's laid out, and Ms. Martin did a great job, and Ms. Merritt has kept up those things. You want to manage your budgets by programs. You have to be able to afford what you're doing within each program. We're not a business, but you have to run the program so that your salary and benefits, your non-salary costs, all of those can be funded within each program within the budget. At the very back of the budget is a position report that reflects your current positions in payroll assignment based upon which funds, programs, and purpose and object of where you pay them from. 2 issues I will bring to your attention that I know you all are very knowledgeable of as a board, but just something we all need to work toward as we continue to move through this year. We're working to fund the additional transportation costs in this current year budget. Those are adding up significantly, but again, we're using current resources and dollars within the budget to fund that. And then also your ADM was projected to go down by the state by just over 200 students. And that reflected 11 teachers to be reduced in the school system, 2 instructional support positions. And again, some of those position cuts have not been made to the full magnitude of what was reduced by the ADM. But again, it's being currently funded by the budget, and those positions are built in here that are currently in payroll assignment. But again, you'll have vacancies that go on throughout the year. You'll have lapsed salaries, dollars we use to make those up. But as you proceed as a district in the future, unfortunately in North Carolina, because so much is based upon your average daily membership, that's what determines your funding and how you fund your schools. So tonight I bring to you the 2022-23 budget resolution for approval and the appropriation of the fund balance in both the local current expense and the other local current expense fund. Glad to try to answer any questions, given the look back that we've had with the historical data and working with staff.
Are there any questions? I would like to make a comment. We would like to thank you for all of the help that you have given us. It has been a pleasure working with you and knowing that you are here to assist us in the best way that we could have asked for. We thank you so much.
Appreciate that.
And I would also like to thank our staff here, as you mentioned, that made your job easier. Their outlook and how hard they work with and dedicated to keep our budget afloat, so that your job would have been less taxing. So I would like to thank Ms. Laura Merritt, Ms. Cindy Martin's not with us, but everyone in finance that has assisted in our financial area. Thank you so much for helping us. At this time, I would like to have a motion to approve the 2022-23 budget resolution as presented.
So moved, Madam Chair.
May I have a second, please?
Second, Madam Chair, Wendell.
Thank you. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
All opposed. budget resolution for 2022-23 has been approved. Thank you
Madam
so
Chair.
much.
Thank you. Appreciate all y'all's help.
Have a good evening. We'll move on down to miscellaneous. At this time, I'm sorry, 5.2. Hold on just one second. We're gonna move down to Ronald Juan Community College Board of Trustee vacancy. At this time, we do have one person, and that person has volunteered and showed an interest that she would really like to represent Hertford County School District, serving on our board at the community college. Her name is Dr. Renee Tan. At this time, may I have a motion to approve Dr. Tan to serve on the Ronald Juan Community Board of Trustees?
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
if I'm in order, I make a motion that we approve the appointment of Dr. Renee Tyler,
Tyler, I'm sorry.
Tyler, to the Ronald Juan Community Board, Trustee Board, representing Hertford County Public Schools.
Thank you. May I have a second, please?
Second motion.
All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
All opposed? At this time, we would like to thank Dr. Tyler for her interest in serving. And I am sure in working with her in the past that she will represent us very well because she has a genuine interest
Yes, she does.
for what's going on here. So I would like to thank her for volunteering. Also, we're gonna move to our 5.2. Got so many papers here. Would like a motion to approve we've added this onto our agenda. The addition of 5.2 to recommend and approve the Union Civic Center resolution. May I have a motion to approve that resolution at this time?
Madam Chair, I make a motion pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 115C-518 that we adopt a resolution that states that the board declares this property at 820 North Carolina Highway 461, a Hosky, North Carolina 27910, no longer necessary or desirable for public school use purposes. Offers the opportunity to obtain the property to the Hertford County Board of Commissioners at fair market value through the letter drafted by council. And if the county does not have an interest in purchasing the property, authorize the interim superintendent and board attorneys to begin the process of selling the property via negotiated offer, advertisement, and upset bid process pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 168-269.
Thank you. Are there any questions or concerns about this property? May I have a motion to approve the resolution at this time?
Second motion to approve the resolution.
May I have a second? Oh, I'm sorry.
Second motion.
Going first, second. Yours were so lengthy.
I do apologize.
All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion has passed to approve the resolution at this time. So we'll move on to our superintendent's report. Ms. Ward.
Chair Porter and board members, parents and community. There's been many common celebrations throughout our schools in the last month. So I just want to highlight some of the many wonderful things that our schools have been doing that you probably have been hearing about from your students and seeing on our social media. We've had several schools celebrating Hispanic Heritage Night Also Unity Day. You've also seen our students and our teachers go blue to look at anti-bullying and stomping out bullying within our school district. Not to compete with blue, but we've also had the Pink Out Day at many of our schools that was held in support of breast cancer. Our free application, college application week has been taking place at our high schools to help our seniors begin that college application process. We've also celebrated our custodians with Custodian Appreciation Day, and our students are beginning to participate in the Red Ribbon Week activities. Another highlight that you've seen across the district are our senior athlete recognition that's been held at our different varsity sporting events. Our teachers have also been very busy across the district with unpacking the documents and content standard professional development. We've had 5 schools participate in the North Carolina Instructional Leadership Academy, and also we've had our Say Something Anonymous training. And also, as on our testing calendar, you will be hearing many of our high school students as they begin to work on the pre-ACT testing, and also our Read to Achieve 3-4 transition grade testing is going on at this time. Just a few calendar upcoming events to be aware of. On October the 28th, our traditional school calendar will be having the ending of our grading period. On November 4th, our traditional school calendar, it is a teacher work day. On November the 4th, our early college high school will have progress report distribution. On November the 10th, our traditional calendar will have an early release report card pickup from 3 to 6 p.m. And on November the 11th, all Hertford County Public Schools and offices will be closed in honor of Veterans Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Ward. As you can see, we do so many things here, and Mrs. Ward has listed only a few. So it's nice that she toots the horn, but she could have added so many more things to that list. So thank you for all you do. Also, whatever job you serve, be it administrator, teacher, whatever, it takes a village. Okay. Comments from the board, Mr. Eddie Hall.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a few comments, and I'd like to echo as well what Superintendent Ward has said. We do have a lot of great things going on. I'm going to take this time to continue to toot your horn. What you all do each and every day, we see it, and people in the community see it, and people in the community are talking about the great things that Hertford County Public Schools is doing. And I just want to continue to thank you all for that what you do each and every day for our students and our parents in our community. Also want to thank Dr. Tinkham again for bringing your students. We thank you for joining us and all the support you continue to give us. To Ms. Deloach and her staff, great job on the bulletin boards. Thank you for the nacho. You should have brought us some nachos, Ms. Deloach. That would add. And to Ms. Wofford, congratulations, and we wish you the best success on your continued journey as the principal at Hertford County High School. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Deloach.
Thank you, Ms. Porter. Certainly want to support the comments made by Mr. Eddie Hall, but also want to thank our principals for the jobs that they do. I certainly understand what you do, and I've been there many times in many years. It's a hard job. Sometimes everybody wants the job, but nobody wants to do it. So I certainly understand that. We thank you for how you keep our schools safe, for our staff, for our students, and thank you for how you continue to focus on education for our young people. Thank you again for all you do. We know you're not rewarded, but remember, your reward comes later. Thank you so much. And thank Dr. Tinkham again for coming out and for the students. We certainly appreciate you all being here. It's a good relationship that we have, and we want to continue that. I also want to thank Dr. Renee Tan-Tyler for volunteering to serve on the board. I think she's an excellent candidate. She knows our system. She's worked in our system for a number of years, and we certainly appreciate her interest in continuing that support. So we certainly want to thank her as well. Thank you, Ms. Porter.
Welcome. Reverend Sharon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to ditto everything that my colleagues have said already. Again, I just want to thank all of our principals, all of our teachers, all of our staff for the great job you are doing in ensuring that all of our children get a quality education. To the principals here, congratulations as you celebrate the National Principal Month. We're proud of all of you, and you guys keep doing what you're doing. Ms. Tinkham, certainly glad to have you. You said 3 years it's been. COVID didn't stop us, did it? Certainly glad to have you and your elementary education major students here tonight. I'm certainly hoping that we'll have a place for them in the future. Thank all of you all for coming out tonight.
Mr. Wendell Hall, do you have any information from the state board?
I sure do, Madam Chair.
All
More-
right,
more
be
than what-
ready.
More than what we want to do tonight or hear or be around to hear. First of all, let me say to all who are the educators that's in the room, on behalf of the state board, we just say thank you. Thank you for the work that you do each and every day on behalf of the 1.6 million K-12 students in this great state. We know it's not an easy job, but you know what? It's not a job for everyone either. You have chosen to be a part of the process of educating each and every child. And once again, on behalf of the state board, with Eric Davis and others, we said thank you and your continued success. We also I would like to share the state board goes into its regular monthly work session and session November 1, 2, and 3 of this month of November. Again, to go over the business that is all about educating children. Some of the things that I want to share quickly tonight deals with teacher compensation. You're going to hear more and more about that in the near future. Pepsi, a group, was to present to the state board a recommendation November the 2nd, but have chosen to gather additional information. Pepsi is the acronym for Professional Educators Preparations and Standards. It's a group of 16 people, 8 chosen by the Senate, 8 chosen by the House. They're all involved in public education from higher ed right on down to the classroom teachers serve on this group to provide recommendation to the state board concerning, once again, teacher compensation. That is going to change in the future. How we pay teachers, how teachers are starting out in the field are paid, teachers at the mid-level. And I can say again, I said it last month, Madam Chair and board members, this is not a merit pay system. It is nothing that's been presented to the state board as of yet for us to consider coming from the Pepsi group. But once again, we're going to change how teachers are compensated with the General Assembly in the very, very near future. As you well know now, it's years experience. For each year experience, you go up the pay scale. Well, that's going to probably change on how that is done and where teachers will fall on the new pay scale once it is presented and approved by the state board and the General Assembly. So be aware of that. And I must repeat, nothing has been passed nor discussed with the state board as of yet. We're also talking with the group concerning how principals are certified in the state. How will principals be certified in the near future? Whether it will be a test, whether it will be a portfolio, or a combination of the two. That decision has not been made yet, but we're looking at how we certify administrators in the public schools of this state. Also, let it be known that there's a lot of discussion that we are asking the General Assembly to look at the 80-20 formula that's used to identify schools of success throughout the state and, of course, our low performing schools. 80% proficiency, 20% growth. We're asking the General Assembly to look at that. There's a study group that's already studying it through the State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Dr. Truitt, that's on board and trying to find another way that we can present the performance level of our schools throughout the state. But the 80-20 formula is still in existence today. As you know, the state superintendent last week, presented the portrait of a high school graduate. If you have not seen it, I ask you to go to DPI's website and look at the portrait of a graduate that the state will be looking at in the future. Not only academics, but also those soft skills that we think that all graduates should have once they leave our public school system. We're also in the process, and Madam Chair, this is something that our board is involved in looking at the pay scale for classified employees. The state board is looking at that, coming up with a scale that would be fair to our classified employees that are funded from state and federal dollars. As you well know, the local board is also looking at that same thing as far as having a scale that is equal to the growth and the work of our classified employees. Do understand that the state now has set a bar of $15 per hour for employees. But what is happening, it has been compressed. And that compression is causing us some concerns on how we can handle that. So that's being discussed as late as today. I was on the phone or I was on Zoom and talking about that particular issue. I'm going to start with that tonight, Madam Chair. Hopefully at our meeting next week with the state board, I'll have more to cover. But I want to say this in all honesty. It's great to be an educator today. Let no one fool you. It's great to be an educator today, to give back to what was given to each one of us who went through the K-12 public education here in the state of North Carolina. Thank you, Madam Chair, for the opportunity and time. Keep your eye out, educators, for this new way of doing business as we compensate our teachers, our administrators, and our classified employees. Thank you again for listening, Madam Chair and Board.
Thank you, Mr. Hall, for your information given. It's always good to hear what you're bringing us from the state board. As Mr. Hall was talking, I was looking at our future teachers in the audience, and I think you were getting you had caught their attention on some of the things that you mentioned. And it's good that we can look forward to new ideas, new incomes, and the things that we're about to change for our teachers. Because whatever you hear, teaching is still the greatest profession in the world.
Amen.
It's not about the money. It's about when you look down at your students and you see that aha moment.
Yep.
And when you read about them or see them later in whatever endeavor they choose, then you know that you had a part of that. That is your greatest reward. So I wish you the best. I really do hope that we see you again and that you'll have an interest in Hertford County. As always, Dr. Tinkham, we can't thank you enough. Dr. Tinkham, you are honored to have had an educator that is so genuine about her profession and about the children in Hertford and every county. So I'm sure that you learned a lot from her. Take it and that you'll move on. And it's just been a good experience for you, I'm sure, to have learned under Dr. Brenda Tinker. Greatest profession in the world. Remember that. Thank you, Mr. Hall. We
Madam
look
Chair,
forward to some
Madam-
of those things you all are gonna send down
absolutely. I hope
from
we
the
can do it.
state board there again.
Absolutely. Thank you, Madam Chair. But Madam Chair, I left one thing out that I wanted to present. I want to kudos to the Hertford County High School Band Program and the presentation that they did at homecoming last Friday night. It was absolutely outstanding. I think the band director, I know his name is Mr. Reverend Gatlin, Mr. Gatlin, had those children on that field.
I saw it.
And I'm a band person. I went through drum majoring when I was skinny. But not now. But when you put that number of people on the field and sound like the whole field is full of band members, that's the image of a great, outstanding band. Not big, but in that sonic boom or whatever they call that, it sounded like there were 200 out there on that field. And it was an outstanding homecoming experience. And kudos go to the principal, to the administrators, to those students, and to the band director, Mr. Gatlin. I had to say it. I really enjoyed it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I was in attendance there. And I enjoyed their halftime performance. I want to commend our football team. They are doing a great job. And we have another game Friday night. It's not at home. It's away. Where is it? Eatonton? It's in Eatonton. So if you can join that game, please do so. But I'm going to turn from the halftime show. What touched me is I saw a performance given by the band at I don't know if the rest of you saw it. It was at Creekside Care. Oh, yeah. And to see the senior citizens, the joy that Mr. Gatlin and Hertford County High brought to they were smiling, they were moving. Did you see it? Oh, it was so, it just touched your heart. So it's good to be on the field, but if you could just view that for just a few minutes at the joy that they brought our seniors at Creekside Care. So I do commend him and his band for all that he does in the community. As always, I thank everybody here. I don't want to leave not one department out because it's all of us working together to get the job done, even though there are things that we need to improve upon. We'll always have a challenge because we're constantly improving. What we have found that may not work, we'll try something new and see to help with the growth and the achievement with our students. But thank you for your organization, your skills, and what you do on a daily basis. We're really proud of our students and we're proud of you, our staff and faculty. So thank you so much. Our next meeting is on November 28th. 5:30 for closed session and open session begins at 7:00 p.m. If there are no other questions or comments, may I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved, Madam Chair.
May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Meeting is adjourned. Have a good evening.
Don't be careful.